Good morning, friends. Today we are going to see the next part, that is application of the high performance liquid chromatography. In the last lecture, we have studied the principle of the high performance liquid chromatography and along with the instrumentations. We have seen and detailed the different components of the HPLC. Then we seen detailing about the detectors, then the what about the columns, then the pumps and all these things, sample reservoir. Then in the last lecture we discussed about the two different types of the detectors. One was a UV detector and another one is was the that particular your refractive index detector. Now we are going to discuss the applications of this particular HPLC. There are the two types of the application. One will be the qualitative and another will be the quantitative. For the qualitative purpose, we have to just identify the individual compound present in the sample. The most common parameter that can be used for the identification of the compound in the sample, that is nothing but a retention time. And what will be the retention time? That will nothing but a time it takes for that the specific compound to elute from the column after the injection. When we are going to upload or say that sample and we are running the mobile phase, at that time you should have to remember there will be the interaction between the mobile phase and the sample, and from that sample the particular component will come first with the particular mobile phase, that will called we called it as a elution or say elute. Depending on the detector used, compound identification is also based on the chemical structure, molecular weight or some other molecular parameter. You can see here retention time of the component B and the retention time of the component A has been shown. Right. Using this you can identify which component is coming first and which component is coming later. Here the different that parameter has been shown based on the weight or some that we can say the molecular weight. That relation of the particular species will depends upon the molecular weight and the structure of the compound. Then what about the quantitative analysis? Then in the quantitative analysis, the measurement of the amount of the compound in a sample is done. That is the how much is there, what how much concentration of that particular compound is present in the sample. There are the two main ways to interpret such a that particular chromatogram for the quantification. One is the determination of the peak height of the chromatographic peak as measured from the baseline, and the second one is the determination of the peak area. From in the you can see these are the peak for the different component A, B, C, D. Here you can see how the peak height and the peak area can be measured. In order to make a quantitative assessment of the compound, a sample with a known amount of the compound of interest is injected and its peak height or peak area is measured. In cases there is a linear relationship between the height or area and the amount of the sample. There are the four different components are there. You can see here green shade is representing the peak area of the compound A, then the peak area of the compound B, peak area of the compound C, and the peak area of the compound D. Okay, and how we can measure the height, that is shown from the baseline. This is the baseline. You can see the blue color is there, that indicates the baseline. You have to just measure the height. The example is shown over here. Okay, these are the what we can say particularly the application of this particular HPLC. You can see here again we already discussed all these things, what is the reverse phase and the normal phase HPLC. The stationary phase is polar and it is the polar yellow dye must. Here in these things you can see in detail about this particular HPLC, how that HPLC is work. We have seen the two detectors. One was the UV detector. That same diagram we have seen in this particular place. Just we have seen the block diagram here. The actual diagram has been shown. See here again the RI diagram is there. Okay. Here you can see how the actually it is computed technique that you have to remember. This general diagram, block diagram of this particular HPLC. Again we will review just okay. HPLC, this is the high performance liquid chromatography, or it is also called as the high pressure liquid chromatography. Then what is the HPLC? This is a separation technique that includes or involves the injection of the small volume of the liquid sample into the tube packed with tiny particles of the 3 to 5 microns in diameter called the stationary phase, where the individual components of the samples are moved down the packed tube with the liquid mobile phase forced through the column by the high pressure delivered by the pump. These components are separated from one another by the column packing that involves various chemical and or physical interaction between their molecules and the packing particles. These separated components are detected at the exit of this tube by flow through device that measures their amount, and output from this detector is called as the liquid chromatogram. Principle of this liquid chromatography and the high performance chromatography work the same way, except the speed, efficiency, sensitivity and the ease of operation of the HPLC is the vastly supervisor. This is the block diagram. You can see where reservoir is there, pump is there, injector is there, column, then the detector, and then the recorder is there. That you can see where very simple. Whatever you have seen, that is pictorially shown over here. Then how we can going to inject this particular sample. Mobile phase is the most important parameter in the HPLC type. The mobile phase use may have the big effect on the retention. It can promote or suppress on an ionization of the analyte molecule, and it also can shield an accessible residual silanol or any other active substance enter on that solvent surface. The most common solvent reservoirs are as simple as glass bottles with the tube connecting them to the pump outlet. Then high pressure pumps are needed to push the mobile phase. This is about the pump. Then the injector, sample injector should be there. Should be provide injection of the liquid sample within the range of the 0.1 to 100 milliliter, that is the ml of the volume, with the high reproducibility and under high pressure up to the 4000 SPI. For the liquid chromatography, liquid samples can be directly injected and the solid samples need only to be diluted in the appropriate solvent. That is very much important. Then manual injector is there. Use manually load sample into the injector using the syringe and then turns the handles to inject the sample into the flowing mobile phase. Then auto sampler is there. User loads vials filled with the sample solution into the auto sampler tray. These are the sample injection systems are there. There are the many different types of the detector that can be used. That two types of the in the detectors we have seen, the refractive index and the UV. In the refractive index, they have the ability of the compound or solvent to detect light, deflect light, provides a way to detect it. RI is the measure of the molecule's ability to deflect the light in a flowing mobile phase in a flow cell related to the static mobile phase. Okay. is considered to be universal detector, but it is not very sensitive. That you have to remember. Then spectroscopic detection, that is a UV detector. Light beam is diffracted or directed through the flow cell, and sensor measures the light passing through the cell. If the compound emits from the column that absorb or absorb the light energy, it will change the amount of the light energy falling on the sensor. The resulting change in the electric signal is amplified and directed to the recorder or data system. UV spectrum is sometimes also obtained, which may aid the identification of the compound or the series of compound. That is the another so many techniques you can correlate with this particular thing, but in our syllabus we have just this only two types of the detectors are there. Then what should be the requirement for this particular column? It must operate on the high pressure, typical dimensions that should be there. Okay, and we are also using the guard column that we have already discussed. This is about the normal phase chromatography and the reverse phase HPLC that we have already seen. Please go through this lecture. If you have any problem, any doubt, you can ask easily. Here we will stop. Thank you.